Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. Up next is newspaper review.
And let's welcome Chukwudi Okolo-Baja. Chooks the boy this morning. He's already seated. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
I've always told you you're a sight for sore eyes.
Exactly.
So why did you disappear for some time? Demo, Juma is back. I'm reintroducing her to you. Good morning, Demola. How are you today? I'm okay.
So we have some papers this morning.
Okay, you go ahead.
Okay, I go ahead. Okay, we'll begin with the Nation newspaper. And above the masthead, we have Kano government serves Bayero eviction notice from Nasarawa Palace. You find the details on page 5. We're looking at the Nation newspaper. And Governor raises dust over spending of 90 billion naira Hajj subsidy. Which governor? You find out in the papers on page 11. Shatima Idris to grace book launch in Abuja Wednesday. Details on page 6. Why Abuja remains top in varsity ratings by Afe Babalola. You find the details also on page 6. And just below the masthead, we have Sokoto Market fire victims get 100 million naira. Details on page 30. Plateau bans blockade of roads, also on page 30. And the picture story you see there, solid minerals boost foreign reserves by $5 million. With Rider, Minister present gold bar to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You can see in the picture story there. IOC's frustrating rollout of petrol, says Dangote refinery. With Rider, firm accuses government agency of aiding indiscriminate importation. Want to find out? You go into the papers on page 4. And fire at church. The Christ Embassy Church in Uregun, Lagos yesterday went up in flames. Well, nobody knows what happened, but I believe details will come out soon. At the bottom plate of the Nation newspaper, Rivers Council workers plan protest over police presence. Find the details on page 4. State airports, how viable? You want to know what they're talking about? Go to page 2 of the Nation newspaper. That's it.
Okay, all right. I have the Vanguard newspaper with me, and art icons reminisce about good old days. That's above the nameplate, and just the major headline says textile industry faces total collapse as revival efforts fail. Details of that story can be found on page 20. Dangote accuses IOCs of plotting failure of its refinery. Details of that story is on page 32. Nigerian pilgrims starving in Saudi Arabia. Okay, that the story can be found on page 6. And 2027, Obi still our candidate. Labour Party insist. The details of that story can be found on page 32. Civil servant collecting salaries after relocating abroad must refund money. Federal government says that's the details of the story can be found on page 9. And Labour to government on minimum wage rescue Nigeria from state of resentment and misery. Details of that story can be found on page 9. Choose.
Demola, you know, when you think about Nigeria, you ask yourself whether all manner of things have a right to, plague us. Dangote refinery, they're accusing international oil companies of plotting failure of its refinery. They're not letting them get crude easily.
Yeah,
and
they're
then
hiking the price.
It doesn't make sense. You know, yes, you want to encourage free enterprise, so you don't legislate the business environment too much. But then you don't allow people to come in from other countries to sabotage your efforts. You must put your foot down somewhere.
Yeah.
So how much are we protecting Dangote without necessarily endangering the free trade, free enterprise spirit in the business environment?
Yeah, I heard that the oil cabals are worse than the drug cabals, actually. That was when we were having a discussion with somebody. He told me the oil cabals are more dangerous than the drug cabals.
It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate.
Why is
and
it
they've
that...
been at it forever in Nigeria.
Why is it that we now have a situation where practically everyone you meet is perpetrating corruption within their own capacities? I was jubilating that tomato, what does our conscience call it? That does mean size of tomato, 15,000 naira. Then decrease, that it has dropped to 10.5.
It will drop to even 1,000 naira.
Then, yeah, I even got nine. I bought 14 about 7 days ago. It's about 9 now. But what I'm saying is, I now ask the woman, oh, it's 10.5? That's good. Can you turn it? Let me see how the basket... I found out that the smaller basket was pushed inside so that the tomatoes don't get to the bottom.
Yes.
A tomato seller perpetrating her own corruption by reducing the volume of the basket. What is wrong with this?
What is wrong with us as a people?
And we'll be,
you've noticed that
we'll be molesting God with our religionism.
Even if you go to buy a basket of maybe yam or potatoes or oranges, you'll find out that the basket underneath, you'll find they put the stocking, papers, bowls.
That's another version of what the tomato sellers are doing.
That's what you know what I do? Give me half. I collect the half which is on top.
How would you
and there's not, yes, I tell them, give me half. I want half.
How would you measure half?
Yes.
One under could be more than the one you call half.
There's nothing under. There's nothing under. Even if it's oranges you're buying, there's nothing under. Look, let me tell you, we have a beautiful country. God has given us the most beautiful country, the most endowed country in the world. It is us, the people, that are the problem in Nigeria.
Let them do something about the IOCs. Bottom line. This won't work. It doesn't make sense. We're all looking forward to July when maybe premium motor spirits price would drop a bit. And now look at what Dangote is complaining about.
Yeah, so we're discussing before the program started, and Remola was saying that the rain falls on everybody. Yes, but actually it is the poor man that suffers, because if the rain falls on the big man, he has the money, he can afford to buy it at any price. But what about the poor man? Diets have changed. People are now changing.
The rich also cry.
Of course, the rich also cry, but not as much as the poor man.
Okay.
Still on the trail of things that are not quite straightforward. Civil servants collecting salaries after relocating abroad must refund money.
Yeah, I saw it on the social media.
And the authorities are directing sanctions for departmental head supervisors for abetting. Because I wanted to ask, how? It takes two to tango.
Yes.
How could a man who has gone abroad still collect salaries without the people who are responsible for saying who gets paid not being part of the scheme? What is wrong with us again?
We'll keep saying it. We keep saying it, but unless measures are taken, things are not going to change. Please quickly,
Nigerian pilgrims starving in Saudi Arabia. Remember, the first complaint was that heat killed up to 1,000 pilgrims. I don't know whether any Nigerian pilgrim...
15. I think, as of last time I read, it was like 15 Nigerians died from the heat stroke.
Okay, let's quickly move
some people have underlying sicknesses, illnesses, and then like when you have diabetes, you have cancer, you have that... not just
some people have
the heat
no
is not for you.
To air conditioning.
Yes.
People who are not properly registered or something.
Or registered programs were most of those that died, and Egypt is taking action against, because almost 600 plus came from Egypt. So it's taking action against the
Actually,
tour
when we, had,
operators
when we had a discussion on that last week,
yeah.
I think what they said was that most times when they did tests on the pilgrims, they want to know what exactly issues, the health issues that they
you
have.
have.
Sure.
So
yes.
they can prepare, medical,
Exactly.
treatment
Medical
for them
treatment,
when
and
they
you're
get
advised
there.
to take, since you're not
It's
allowed
that
to
they will
ent-
discourage
yes.
them from going.
No.
No, they don't discourage them from going. But just make preparation for health personnel
Exactly.
that will take care of
so that
their,
you suit care to the individual.
that's what
Yeah,
it
and
is.
you're allowed to go with your drugs like for a week, because you're not allowed to go in with drugs for a week before the
Okay,
medical.
yeah, to take care of the
take care of it for a
intervening
week. Yeah,
period
but
before
most
you
people don't listen. You know, some people give. I believe one of the pilgrims even gave birth in Saudi. So at the end of the day, you just went to Saudi to have a baby, but you didn't perform the Hajj. People don't listen. You know,
The baby becomes allergy or allergy.
allergy.
There's a little good news
Yeah.
before I go to textile, if we have time. Solid minerals boost foreign reserves. Solid minerals boost foreign reserves by $5 million.
That's
I
a
think
lot
they're
of
now
money.
bringing them into the tax net, monitoring and all that.
Yeah.
And Lake has been saying a lot of things which some people were scoffing. The point is, this country is overrich.
Overreach.
But there are too many holes, you know. We need to plug the leaks. That's it. $5 million, that's a
That's a lot of money.
It's money. By the time they work on it for another 2 years, you bring in more people into the net, and government is able to get money from people who are now illegal miners.
We have more solid minerals than we have oil.
That's true.
Yes.
Every
More
community
solid
in this
minerals than we
country
have
has
oil.
something God has blessed
Yes.
it
Every
with
state.
under the soil.
Textile industry faces total collapse.
We were returning to gloom, since you have mentioned it. I think Demola Chukwudi and Jumai might be part of the problem.
How?
Our taste for foreign material.
This is
Local.
local.
That's good.
It's local.
But still, our taste for foreign material is part of the reason the textile industry is dying.
No, you got to. No. It's not us. It's not us. It's not
No,
us.
no, okay,
Politics,
it's okay.
whatever it is.
You were
happens.
representative of Nigerian people. I mentioned
Politics
this
happens.
symbolically. So please don't go.
Okay, let me also close this symbolically.
Thank you for coming. Good morning.
Because I accused them.
We take a break now. Good Morning Nigeria continues. Stay with us.